Hey guys, welcome back to the third video on the my Python auto rigging tutorial series. Today we're gonna do two things. We're gonna do object-oriented programming, and we're gonna do a thing called refactoring. And the last one just means that we're gonna clean up our code and our overall code structure, because right now it's getting messy, and it's something you want to avoid at all costs. So we're gonna do both, but for the latter, we need to first get OOP working, which is a little bit more annoying than you might realize. So let's just get started, right? So this is still the code that we had. I haven't changed anything since the last time. So we can still make the locators, we can still add the joints, etc. But you can see, right, it gets a little bit messy. At this moment you get like almost 300 lines of code, and we have the joints and locators and the mirror functions all in the same file, and they can get confusing. So if you want to find one function, you have to look really hard for it, so that's kind of annoying. So that's why we're gonna do some refactoring. But first, let's get OOP going. Before you can actually start doing that, you need to get some things done outside of Maya. For example, the first one is you have to go to your Documents Maya installation folder, and then 2018 in my case, or the version that you're using. And in there should be a file called maya.env, or an environment, which you need to edit, right? So you need to open it with Notepad or any other editing toolkit program, whatever. And then you add this line, right? So Python path, all in caps lock, and then equals, and then quotation mark, and then the location to the Maya 2018 scripts folder in my case. The reason why is I'm going to explain a little bit. So in my case, it's d user maps user documents Maya 2018 scripts. Make sure you have this, otherwise it's not going to work. So Python path, all in caps lock, equals the path to your scripts folder. So, and in that folder you will find a thing called the user setup.py. Now by default it's not there, so you have to make your own. In this case you can just make a new file, text file, and then you can call it blah blah blah, and then you can edit the extension to turn it into py, which means it turns into a Python file, right? So you have to make the user setup.py. Make sure that capital S is capitalized, otherwise it's not gonna work. And in that folder you have to import the sys for system, and then system.path.append, and then the actual folder that you're working in, right? So in my case it's D section, copy work for, and then the actual, I mean it's spelling error there, oh that's too bad. And then the folder that you're actually working in, right? In this case it's Python, so all my Python scripts are in the folder called Python, right? So system, import sys.path.append, and then the actual folder, right? Okay, so let's grab this. Let's go there for a second, because you need to do one more thing, the third one. And in the folder you need a file called __init__.py. I think this is to let Python know that this is an actual Python folder, or that it contains Python scripts. So make sure that you have this as well. So you need to do three things. Right? You need to go to your Documents Maya 2018 in my case, and then edit the maya.environment file and add in there Python path is d etc to the scripts folder. And then in the scripts folder there needs to be a user setup.py with capital S, and in that user setup you import the system, you say sys.path.append, and then the actual folder that you're working in, or that will contain your scripts. And in that script, in that folder, you will also need the __init__py file, and it just has to be empty. That's it. Once you've done that, if you had Maya open, make sure that you restart Maya, otherwise it's not gonna work. So restart Maya if you haven't done that, and then everything should be working in theory. Okay, so let's just test it, right? Because there are a couple of weird things that happen. So I'm gonna make a new file. In this case, I'm gonna add a Python file. I'm just gonna make a def function. I'm gonna make it a function that's called hello world. Let's test it work, and in that function we're gonna print hello world, the ultimate classic. That's it, right? So I'm gonna save it in the folder that we're working in. and then I'm gonna just call it hello world. The name doesn't really matter, but yeah. So it's not there, right? So we just print out hello world. When we now run it, it should say hello world. Well, nothing at all, but yeah. Okay, so in our main folder, main file in this case, I'm gonna import that file, right? So I'm gonna say import hello world. You can also say hello import as hello world as hello for all I care, or hell or guten tag or anything else, as long as you import that file. And now we can actually call it. We can now call the function that's in that folder or in that file. Like say hello dot and then the actual function name. In this case, I'm just going to call hello world. I think it's a little bit easier. And then we can say hello world dot, and then you can actually call the function name if it's there. In this case, it's called hello world. That actually might cause some issues to think of it. I'm just going to call it hello. Probably a little safer. I'm going to call it hello. Okay, let's run it. And then we get here hello world. Now here comes the tricky part. That's the part that I find really annoying. Now when I change something right in this file, let's say let's turn this into French bonjour, right? What we'll get right now is still it will still display this message, right? So I'm gonna clear it. I'm gonna go back to our file. I'm gonna hit autorig, and then it still says hello world. It kind of makes sense when you think of it. But it took me like 4 or 5 hours to figure it out. What it does, right, it just imports the file and it caches it in the RAM memory, and that's where it will be, and that's where it will always be. So what you need to do in this case is every time that you load it, you need to reload that folder, that file in this case. So hello world is reload hello world. Now when we run it, we'll get bonjour, and now when we turn it into German, then we'll get German, right? This is actually really important. This took me forever to figure out, which is why I'll tell you right now. It's a little bit easy. This will save so much trouble. So make a file, make a function in the file, and then import that file, and then reload that file, and then you can call any function you have there, anything you want. Okay, so let's actually get started on refactoring. So I'm going to delete these files now. We get a py and a pyc. The pyc is a compiled version of the Python file. When I open it in Notepad, for example, you get this, right? That doesn't make any sense, but it's the compiled version of your Python file. So I'm going to delete them. Minus will give me an error now. I don't want to keep this, so I'm going to delete it. Okay, so let's do some refactoring. So that means we're going to edit our files, and I'm going to make it a little bit more neat. So I'm going to make a new Python file, and this is going to be the locator one. So I'm going to create, first I want to make a function that will open a new window, because I think it's a little bit easier. Actually, no, that's not. Let's just say create locators, right? Like this. In here we're going to make some locators. I'm going to again save it. I'm going to save it to a proper file, and I'm going to call this locators, or create locators, or whatever you want. Locators. So in this file, I'm pretty much going to put all of this in there. So it's going to save me a lot of time. So I'm going to copy paste this, find all the locator stuff that's all the way down here, and then I'm going to go all the way there, and I'm going to put it in here. Okay. I need to change something because this is right now create locators. I need to do it like this. Now the way we set it up, right, because in this one over here, it will call the create spine function, and this will call the create arms and create legs functions, so this will still work, but we now actually have to call the actual file. So I'm going to import it. I'm going to get rid of my hello world. I'm going to import locators like this, and you can actually see as well. I guess you get it now. If you're wondering like how do you get this autocomplete, go to command. Then you can have the auto or the command completion. You can also have the object path completion, but I think it's really annoying. You can also turn on the quick help if you want to. That's pretty much it. Okay, so I'm gonna reload it all the time. So I'm gonna say is reload, so I can actually make changes and actually use it instead of every time I have to restart Maya. It's kind of a waste of time, right? So I'm gonna go to my create locators. It doesn't exist anymore, right? So now I call the other class file, and this means I have to say here locators, the class file dot create locators. And actually you should probably use a capital. I did here. Create locators. So let's test it. Don't get any errors, that's always a good thing. Create locators and get a big fat error, because it actually makes sense. Let's go back here, right? So in here, right, we actually call the base dot etc. But we define it here as import mySCMDs as base. So this base does not exist in this file. So what we need to do is import it again. This one over here, and then we can actually start using base. Let's go back to this file. Create locators, and then we get spine code, right? Not defined. Also makes sense because we define it here, right? We actually defined the amount of locators here. Here. So what we have to do is we can either just move this, which is fine, which actually makes sense. I'm gonna move just that. I'm gonna move it all the way up. Oh, let's all do this. Yeah, let's just move them. I'll place them above the function over here. See, it actually works. Probably not, no. But at least it shall work. Oh, I should probably delete those. So this is the downside of refactoring, because that means we have to shift around everything, which is not bad, but this means they'll also have to do a little bit differently here. It's fine because this part here never gets called on, right? Which is what we kind of want to have. So I'm going to put this in a function probably. So let's create fields. Let's use a smaller letter. Create fields. Gotta make sure that we indent it properly. Then we can call it here locators.create fields. Sure, it actually matches this one as well. See, there you are. It's not perfect, right? Because I actually put them here. We need to put them here because it is in order of execution. So now we do it. Get the locators. We get at least one side done. Much better. Probably getting an error here again. Yeah, the log all is not defined because it's in a different file, right? So we need to do it here as well. So I'm going to move this log all to this file all the way down. I think this might not actually work. Create locators. Edit mode is not defined. This is the downside. I'm going to delete locators. Actually, I'm not going to use the edit mode at all. I'm just going to get rid of it altogether. We're not going to use it anyway, so it should work. Now we have to find this one over here. Just going to get rid of it. Edit mode locators 135. Right, so. There you go. Let's get rid of home button. There we go. Much better. Okay. So these are our locators. Oh, do it again. So this is now all in a different file, which is a little bit more, gives you a little bit more of an overview. You can go even further, right? You can also say I'm going to make a class just for the legs, just the spine, just the hands, to make it even more fragmented, which is actually not that bad because it gives you a more nice overview. So right now this file went from almost 300 lines to 80 something, actually a little bit less, 81 lines of code, which is really nice. So we're going to go even deeper, right? We're also going to put the joints in different files. I'm going to create a new Python file. I'm going to call this joints. I'm going to say function create joints. And for now, nothing. I'm just going to print something here. I'm going to save it. I'm going to call this joints. There we go. Then again, we're going to import it. We're going to make sure that we constantly reload it. So import joints. Okay. Joints is reload joints, and now we can call it. Now we've got the function here, right? Create joints. So I'm going to move that joint function to a different file. I'll put it here. You do the same thing here, right? Because base again does not exist in this file, so we need to import it again. So maya.cmds base. Now this will work again. This will work again, and now we just need to call the other file. In this case, it's joints. Create joints. Don't get any errors, which is all good thing, and then we can do this. See, and it still works. Ah, it's better. Okay, let's get rid of everything. This is a nice way. Oh, I did something. Oh crap. Joints dot create joints. Yeah. So you can also put this in a different file if you want to. I'm gonna get rid of this. Ideally, your main file, right, is really clean and just calls other files, and it makes your life a little bit easier, or actually a lot easier. When, for example, you have an error in your joint creation part, you can just go to the file called joints and then figure it out, right? Instead of doing all kinds of weird shit and like going through like 600 lines of code and figuring out where it is. It just gives you a little more of an overview. And everything still works. Now you can even go further, right? You can also create a window of this, so you can have a window for okay, I want to create the joints for the spine, and then create it set up for the whatever, right? So you can, by doing this, you can actually make your rig modular, right? So you can add more. You can have like 18 arms if you want to, 44 legs. It will just make your life a little bit easier. I'll probably actually do that. I will make it modular, which means that I can add more and more legs and more arms. Because I have some characters that have 4 arms, for example, and I kind of want to use this tool as well instead of doing it manually. Because what's the point of making a tool if you can't use it for everything, right? So let's see what else we can do. Everything works. Well, we can actually create more joints if you want to. Let's well, actually, I don't see the point, but we can probably actually use this and mirror the function. Because what you usually do, right, when you're doing this, you actually just mirror it and mirror joints, and then you're done like this. Exactly what you want to do as well. So you can actually see what happens here, right? We actually mirror joint. Find it, mirror joint, this one. You can also do it as well in Python as well. I'm not sure if you can't do this. No. I was just wondering. Maybe we could do it here, like mirror. Yeah, mirror joints. Okay, let's have a quick look. Create joints. Actually, I'm gonna chop this up even further. I'm gonna make a new function. Create arm joints. And then we do this. We put this in here. Again, this way is just to make sure that you can find everything a little bit easier. And then in here we call the function create arm joints. Like this. And this is just the spine, and then you can call it joints. You can also call the legs, for example, as well. Maybe we can do the mirror function real fast to see if I can get it to work in a couple of minutes. So that will be the upper arm joint. Start mirror joint. Oh, it's too bad I can't read it. But basically real fast. So you can do it like this, right? It actually has here as well. But you first probably need to select an object. So you need to select the actual object. I think we can do it like. I'm just doing this on the fly, so I'm not sure it's actually gonna work, but we'll see. Probably need to have an actual joint in there. Mirror X, Y, Z. search. I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm doing. So let's not do this. Oh yeah, I said yeah. Okay. Do we do NYC? Yeah, NYC. Then we do the MB. Just hover over it. We should get the actual autocomplete again. We do the MB. SP is following L, etc. No, let's not do this. I need to figure this out. Smaller time. Okay. But that's pretty much it, right? This is how you implement OOP, and how you can call multiple files from one single file, and how you refactor your code. This can be, right now, Locators can even be chopped up in more files. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but we'll have a look at it. And that was it. So I hope you enjoyed it, and next one is coming soon.